Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, welcome back, man. It's the Wash Gods.
Yep.
It's episode 63. I am Drafts.
I am Sean-Luc Picard.
Oh.
Taji's in the building. No limit exposure. You see us.
Hello.
Because you know he's here or some shit. And Warren from 404 Creators.
Yeah. Shout out to Warren. Shout out to Taji. Shout out to No Limit Exposure.
Shout out to y'all.
Yeah, man. We come here on another day to bring you a fucking podcast. So, shout out to Willie Lanier. Who do he play for?
Chiefs.
Yeah, so another Chiefs greats. I feel like the last player was a Chiefs player, too. So, shout out to Willie Lanier, man.
Willie, another old nigga name.
Yeah. We're going to get into the countries right quick. Or is that how we usually do it? I don't remember. All right, cool. These United States, the United Kingdom,
Yep.
Australia, Canada,
Good day, mate.
Iceland,
Canada.
Germany,
Number one black podcast in Iceland. Shout
Mother
out,
Russia, India,
German
France,
food.
Brazil, Norway,
Shout out Barrage.
New Zealand,
Shout out Fjords.
Finland, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, Romania, Spain,
Shout out
Ecuador,
Romania, man. I don't know
Denmark,
nothing about y'all.
the Netherlands,
Shout out to Netherlands, man.
Sweden, Singapore,
Dutch,
Slovakia,
tulips.
Belgium, Qatar,
Belgium. Shout out
Turkey,
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Hong Kong, Japan, Mexico, South Korea, and we got to welcome Saudi Arabia to the podcast. So,
Ooh, all right.
welcome Saudi Arabia to the Wash Gods
Get the
pod.
A-Rab
Assalamu
money.
alaikum.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say anything racist because I might go to Saudi Arabia soon. So, but shout out to the Saudis, man.
That's not. Oh yeah. That's what they call themselves. Continue.
But I remember fucking what I'm supposed to call them.
Arabians.
That's racist. But yeah, so shout out to the Saudis, man. We're back once again. How was your week?
Week was washed. It's a very washed week. It's the only way I can describe it, based on the fact that I'm trying not to be as negative. But that being said, it's a doozy. Long little quiz. Got some wild news. Friday, a friend of ours passed away.
Yeah, R.I.P. Quez, man. One of the young niggas that we just kind of felt like a little brother of the city, man. Real shit. So, R.I.P. to Quez, man.
I was on my way downtown, or at least to the city, because I had a tattoo appointment, and ended up not even getting the tattoo. I was glad I didn't do it, just because work was it was hell, and because it's on my hands, like I keep losing all the ink because I got my hands in the sink or in gloves or some shit. But yeah, it was a trying week, considering all the things that I had to contend with. I've got more responsibility at work now, which also means having to tend to more personalities, and almost beat the shit out of like a customer at work. It's like the second week in a row. First week, like I had a customer throw a plate at one of my coworkers, and then I had somebody, just basically like somebody who was friends with one of my coworkers, drunk at work, and just kind of carrying on the shenanigans where we are. And one thing, shout out cousin Corey. I talked to him this week, and congratulations, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's making strides. But one of the things I realized that as an adult I hate is motherfuckers who be drawn. Like Taji eating cheese in the middle of the pod. It's funny how I mentioned Philly, and this nigga immediately pull out cheese.
I'm so disappointed that this nigga had another one, man.
He tried to offer you that one. That was yours.
No, I'm Gucci, man. But go on, I'm sorry, man.
See, it's disgusting. Disgusting grab so much. He was like, bro, we gotta take a break. Extra sharp, boy. Ain't no fun, boy.
If the homies can't get some, then yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, man. But I had to have like a conversation with one of my coworkers about just the type of consequences that come with attention, like the wrong kind of attention.
Wrong kind of attention.
And this is somebody who, you know what I mean, I've known previously. Ironically got me this job, but left the company like I did at one point and came back. I just been here, like, you know what I'm saying? And during this transition, I'm kind of, you know what I mean, I have authority. And I realized that you can't talk to people like you would normally if you got authority. Like, you can't just have a conversation with them casually like you would in the same vein of them being like outside or like in the street or some shit. And it was just kind of like one of those revelations. It's like, oh, this shit different now. Like, I can't say shit. I felt like draft in a sense where like, I stopped having small talk. The argument that we had ended in her saying like, yo, I'm just not gonna do the small talk. You just tell me what you want me to do, and I'll just do it. And we just won't have no spare conversation. And in my mind, I was like, nigga, say less. Like, but I felt like it wasn't even anything that I think needed to be resolved. It was just a kind of like a revelation where I was just like, oh, all right, I gotta move different. But yeah, outside of that, the week was shitty, man. Fucking shitty week.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I want to say RIP to Quez, man. That shit really caught me by surprise. I was really just sitting down here fucking with Joe and shit, and I get a call from Vince, and he told me the news, and that shit just, low key. It's weird, man, living in Atlanta, man. I think you said some shit the other day. It's like, it's so much shit that happened on this one street. Like, Edgewood is like a memorial for everybody that we know that's dead right now. So it's been a lot of blood spilled, just a lot of memories that are now gone on that one street. But yeah, so that was a thing. I also just sat around. I mean, in my trials and tribulations through life, I just thought about how like it's just really no safe spaces for black males and shit, man. I was just kind of having a conversation. I don't even remember what I was talking about exactly. And I just know how, like, every time a black man says something direct, it's like, oh, shit, hey, man, just calm down, man.
Hey, man.
And I don't remember what I was watching, but they just talked about how, like, everyone is kind of racist because the media trains you to be. Like, even if you don't want to be, like everything I know about like lions and shit is dangerous because I've never been around a fucking lion, but you know, every time I see it on TV, that shit is killing some shit. That's exactly what a nigga is to everyone else.
I just followed this Twitter page called Nature's Lit, and it's just lions and shit.
So if you're a white person, anytime you see a nigga, it's on World Star or some shit or somewhere,
like a lion
holding a gun, doing some crazy shit. So that's like, even if you don't mean to be racist, like it's just ingrained in you to be that way. So it's just, you know, we're the only people that really have to go through that. Like, you know, so like we have to watch our words. We can't be passionate as black men and shit because it's always taken as anger and like we're gonna be violent in some way. Like when you just might just have a point, you know. And I feel like that's been like my little life's battle with a lot of people. It's like, you know, I feel like I'm a pretty direct type of person. It's always like, whoa, man, just calm down. I'm like, bitch, I'm calm. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't say anything. I just said something direct to you.
I literally said this week, like, y'all, did I disrespect you? Did I yell at you? Then don't take it personally. You gotta stop internalizing what I'm saying. Just listen to the words.
But it's like, that was in the same breath, like I said, it's like the lion analogy, because it's like, even if a lion like walked up to you and like rubbed his neck on you and you let you pet it like a cat, like you probably still be looking at that motherfucker. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
according to Instagram, white people friendlier with lions than they are with niggas.
Yeah, and that just shows you.
Hey,
you
Tiger
know what
King
I
is
mean?
a thing, boy.
Yeah, I mean, there's some sanctuaries for niggas too that white people have, kind of the same thing. But I don't know, man. Kind of been,
Well, I was about to get.
yeah. I mean, I guess we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
With the Make-A-Wish joint, but I don't know, man. I don't really know what my point was with that, but it's just like, man, this is like a frustrating thing. It's like, man, I don't know. I can't ever have points and shit. Like,
I think that's one of the things that you made plain about travel, is like the opportunity to get away from who you are to a certain extent. Like you just get to shed your identity and be a random person.
Yeah. That's a good thing about going abroad. It's just like, I feel like it's a little bit less of that like niggas kill everything tension that white people feel when you walk in the room. It's like, oh shit, man, black guy just walked in. Like, man, like I just hate having that feeling. Like, I think that's the one thing I feel like a lot of people miss about racism and shit. It's like, it's not always you calling me some shit or you doing some shit. It's like the way you react to me is just as hurtful. You know what I mean? Like,
I always say it's not what you
because
say.
I don't get a chance to be me.
It's not what you say most of the time. It's how you treat me. Like, that's been my whole battle with work or even people socially. I wasn't joking, but I'm telling a friend, I was like, man, I can't communicate with women, bro. I'm about to stop. Like, we just about to head nods.
In an effort not to be sexist, I'm not going to agree with you, but I understand that sentiment.
No, I don't mean it.
Yeah.
So again, this being a semi-safe space for black men,
Yeah.
I'm only saying that.
Kill him!
That's it. It's torches and pitchforks outside. I just hear the chants.
All the brutes.
Name of the pot. But you can only be a man when it's in their benefit.
Yep.
And I remember like the contrast in the situations where at one week where I got a buck on a male customer for throwing a plate at my coworker. Like I, with the same energy, address an issue that, you know what I'm saying, happens around me, affects what we have going on. And because I got to talk to you directly, it's taken offensively. And it's like, I had to literally say, like, I didn't yell. I didn't disrespect you. Just listen to what I'm saying.
I literally have had that conversation so many times. Like, yo, did I raise my voice? Like,
I don't know what's happening.
Because I'll whisper a lot of.
And it's low key the cheat code. Like, you can do it. On the low, you ever want to see if a nigga really pussy? When a nigga turning up and shit, just lean into him and just be like, yo, I'll fuck you up in here. And just whisper it. And you don't have to say nothing. Most of the time, fights dissipate because somebody realize you serious because you're not putting on no show.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's always my thing about how I try to converse with people. Like, I try to say things plainly and directly. Like, look, listen, I'm not putting on a show. I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm just trying to say what I got to say.
The extras usually give you away. That's your tell. Like, one thing I've realized nowadays is the ability to kind of have a poker face about shit and how important it is as an adult, especially like when you see people have.
But even being stoic as a black man makes white people nervous. What is he thinking?
What's he up to?
Yep.
Yeah, but it's the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been like, white people have only called me
People
stoic.
are intrigued by things they don't understand. So if you shut the fuck up long enough, you know what I mean? They'll stare at you, try to figure out, and then
But it's
shoot
always,
the nigga making all the noise.
Yeah, but it's always like they're on edge, I just feel like. So
There's nothing you can do about that for the most part.
Yeah. I don't know, man, what that had to do with my week, but that was my week in a nutshell, shebang, shabao.
Draft Peterson.
Yeah. I guess we get into wash moments. For me, I was listening to somebody's podcast who would go nameless, but I just thought about, like, I was listening, they had like a chick on there, and she's like, as a God-fearing woman, I live in light and all this shit. I was just like, you know what? I know you're old if you believe in God. Like, if you
God is like an
No,
8-track
nobody
tape.
does that shit no more. We grew up. Don't nobody believe in that magic shit no more. Nigga, we're adults. Like you're
Got a
old
VCR.
now. Yeah, like you still believing in like magic and shit. Like
Laserdisc.
yeah.
Laserdisc Jesus, bro.
Like women don't even put on that persona. Like a young woman is not trying to be a God-fearing woman and shit. That's an old woman phrase and shit. Like you're
So I got
old.
I got this thing where I get,
You're old if you walk in like light and all that shit. Like
I
nobody
get
give
real.
a fuck about that. Bitch,
get
you got OnlyFans or what?
I was about to say, I get real drunk and I'll like wake up and Tinder will be on my phone, and so I'll look at, I'll just be scrolling through some of the action, and I'll look, and it'll be like God fearing will be in the title if they're like 33 and up. If they're like 24 to
OnlyFans
like 30,
Snapchat.
yeah, OnlyFans Snapchat.
Like it's just a different. Don't nobody like.
Tarot readings.
Yeah, selling soaps.
Yeah, selling soaps bridges the gap because you can get young
Make
hoes selling
jewelry.
soap. You can get like an old bitch usually make candles.
But yeah, man, it was just like an old bitch phrase. I'm like, who the fuck? Did you still believe in God? How old are you?
You Jewish?
But yeah, you just don't see that anymore, man. Like I know anybody from my nephew's generation is not trying to like walk in light and all that shit. It's
They
like,
trying to be woke.
nigga, they got computers, nigga. They Wikipedia religion and shit. They already know it's bullshit.
Yeah, I forgot. Was it us talking about Noah's Ark? And we was like, yo, nobody believes Noah's Ark. Bro.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
did the birds go?
Yeah, like I don't think young kids even believe any of those stories anymore. I don't know if you can sell it to them the same way. Like just information is just too open. Like
You see, it's gotten so crazy. Dinosaurs about to be up out of here.
maybe.
They're trying to get dinosaurs.
White
out
man creation.
here. Yeah, I believe it, man. White folks got down on dinosaurs though.
They did that.
Yeah, that shit crazy.
But yeah, that's my watch moment. God is for old people.
Church of the Wars coming soon. But nah, my watch moment is so shout out to Hayes. Hayes has inspired me because like I told him the last time we went to a session like basketball is his bowling. Like you watch Al Bundy. Yep. But I see the change in the generations as far as like hobbies and what you do to kind of like stay active and shit. And so I started hooping. Shout out Ryan. Ryan Hall and I went to East Lake Park, which has probably been
Shout out to Ryan.
probably been a park I'm most frequent at now. I've tried to go to flat shows, but they took the goals down on both sides, so it's kind of, I feel like that's the final straw. Like the neighborhood's gone now. As soon as they start taking the goals down, like in a park, and they stop picking up the trash, like you don't see the park like services come through anymore. They got a whole baseball field. There's 2 baseball fields and a track and 2 courts on each side of Glenwood. But they about to let that shit go. Condominiums on the way. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive. But yeah, I say all that to say like I've been getting active. My bike been fucked up. I've been trying to hoop. I've been actually doing all right. My biggest concern is always injury. Like I don't want to get hurt. Like, I've had terrible sprained ankles. I remember when we went to hoop with Corey. Like I'm talking to Christina on the way up here, and I'm like, y'all. The last time I sprained my ankle was when we hooped with Corey, and she was like, "How bad was it?" And I was like, "Y'all." I remember I finished the game, but by the time I had to go to work, my leg looked like I had diabetes. Like it was just my shoe looked different on the left hand side. It was so bad.
Look like I'm scared now.
Yeah.
I gotta take a look at my legs.
You feel that tingle, boy.
My legs are always tingling. All right.
All right.
It's in the pod. Just going to the hospital.
But yeah, I didn't hurt myself at all hooping, but today, after a long day of work, long day of work, I take my break kind of like after we close. I'm like, yo, I'm just gonna go to the car, and chill for a second. I close my eyes. I wake up 50 minutes later. Oh shit, nigga. And fortunately,
I remember my pops dozing off randomly and shit.
yeah. I'm the king of dozing off randomly. If you know me, bro, if
you are the king of that.
Yeah,
shit.
if you.
But she was always like that.
Yeah,
Like,
it's nothing. It's nothing new. I burn the wick at both ends, bro. Like, I shout out to all y'all women that make candles. That's y'all fault.
Shout out to y'all.
Yeah. But I pass out. I wake up.
I just killed a whole demographic.
Yeah, it says, yo, everybody in Saudi Arabia that we just had. But I get up and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get out the car. I get out the car. I take one step straight. Second step, roll my whole ankle.
Just walking?
My leg fell asleep. And I'm still so incoherent.
What an athlete.
I'm right. I rolled my whole ankle, bruh. So, lost God that I am. I ride around with flip flops. I had to take my foot out of whatever Nike bullshit I had on, and put on my Nike flip flops, and hobble around for the rest of the day. And this is like on the heels of the second day I went hooping, which was like Sunday. I go to put antifreeze in my car because I'm fixing shit now, apparently. But yeah, I go to put coolant in my car, and I forget I'm tall, and I hit my head on on the hood, bruh. Just hard enough to split my shit. So, like, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, yo, I hit it so hard.
You had a bad day.
It was reminiscent of other times where I've hit my head so hard. Like, I had Q tell me, like, when I was getting my hair done, she was like, yo, just don't fall asleep. I'm like, yo, was it that bad? She was like, yo, you split open. It was that bad. Don't go to sleep. I'm on concussion watch. But yeah, my wash moment is being a step away from having an iced out life alert bracelet. Like, I'm almost there. Cause if I hit the ground, it might have been problems. Like,
and low key, side wash moment. In the same breath of like black men having no safe space, I thought about too. Like, niggas don't really be talking about, like, as we get older, like our various injuries that we just walk around with like, daily and shit. Like, I was talking to someone and I'm like telling them, I low key got a pinched nerve in my shoulder and shit. So it's like my shit would just lock up randomly. It's like, man, like I just saw somebody I know tweet like, yo, I gotta stretch more. I'm like, damn, everybody I know is going through these fucking old nigga problems. Like, people always tell you when you hit your, never mind. When you hit an age, when you hit an age, like everything breaks down, and goddamn, if that shit ain't true, man.
One of the reasons I'm doing the shit I'm doing now is my dad told me one day, I was like, I'm thinking about starting to get running. I'm thinking about starting back running. And again, it was when I was telling Taji I'm trying to buy gear. And he was like, yo, if you start again, bro, don't stop. Because it's going to be harder. Sure enough, nigga. All this shit is a struggle. It's a metaphor for life, though. I think that's a lot of the reason why, like, we got those kind of hobbies. Like, you see hooping, like, it's form, follow, function shit. You stay active in one field and do well in it. You hope that you excel in others.
Yeah, if anything, I just try to take a good long walk once a day just to, work out the things. But, yeah, man, I guess we can get into white woman Make-A-Wish kid. I'll let you introduce the story.
All right, so there was a story that I found on the nigga news network that apparently made it to Twitter and some other social media outlets. But there's a story about this woman who adopted a West African Make-A-Wish child. I don't know if you say kid child. Make-A-Wish kid sounds like I'm
kid child.
Yeah. But she adopted a Make-A-Wish kid, and this child apparently had, or allegedly had, a lot of health issues. And so there was something like 100+ surgeries that were done on this child that was, I want to say, like between the ages of, she has 2 children. The one is 2 and the other was 6. And I think she had the one that was 2 until she was about 4. But they performed hundreds of surgeries on her. She wore leg braces and was forced to, like, wear a feeding tube. And once protective services got a hold of her, they gave her a physical and realized nothing was really wrong with her. Sophia Hartman is this woman's name. She went on a few panels, and really what the scary part about it is, all of this was for the funds that came from having a child with disabilities. And you put all these disabilities on a child you adopted from an already disadvantaged situation. And what they're not talking about is, like they said, it's a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old, and they show 2 kids. Both of their faces are blurred out. I'm assuming the other child is the 6-year-old. That other child is black as well.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like in America it's so easy to use a black man as a prop or a black person as a prop. Like, we're usually, like anytime somebody tries to help us, like, look, I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? As like I said before with the metaphor with lions, it's like when the motherfucker lives with lions, it's like, man, look what I'm doing, man. And everybody else is looking at it like, shit, I wouldn't do that, motherfucker.
Tiger King.
Yeah. That's the name of the poem.
Don't we have Tiger King already?
Nah.
Yeah.
But I just feel like that's what it is. It's like, no, we're tigers in a sense. Like,
and I hate it because it dilutes all the shit that we do that has a point. Like Dave Chappelle talked about leaving his show after he realized like people weren't laughing with him.
Same type of thing.
Like they was laughing at him. And it's kind of like the feeling you get when you got a white friend and they say one of those things like, yeah, man, like, or when white people walk up to you and they're like, yo, what's up, bro? It's like, man, come on, man. Yeah. Like, if I respond, like, now we're saying the thing.
Give me a 5 on the backhand side, brother. It's just like, yo, come on, man. Goddamn, man. We can just be friends. Like, we don't have to do this shit, man.
When white people walk up to you dancing when music's playing and they expect you to dance, like, because that's how y'all communicate.
Every time I see a white person and they're, like, too cool, like, they have a boombox in my head. It's like, and they're dancing.
And sunglasses and shutter shades. The skateboard, they flip up with one foot.
Like Bart Simpson.
Yeah. Don't have a cow, man. What the fuck? Yeah, it's weird, man. Like working in really, really, really white spaces in Atlanta sometimes gets so awkward because you think black people are irritating sometimes, bro. Boy, deal with a white person that think they cool.
Well, I was working in Alpharetta, man. Motherfuckers come like, "What's up, brother, man?" Like, brother, man. Like,
or when they come up to you rapping the
know my name, man. Like, what the fuck?
They rap the newest rap song.
Yeah, or just
Rich Homie Quan fucked white people up for like ages.
Used to have like random people like ask me about like Kanye and shit. Like, we're friends. Like, nigga, I don't have what the fuck? You think I got the inside track, nigga? Like. But on that note, guess who's back? Still smell the part of my clothes. Yeah, don't make me have to relapse on these hoes. Guess what? White people killing black people again. Newsflash. So I found a story on Twitter, just scrolling because I was bored, and I just saw somebody tweet about how the story wasn't getting a lot of coverage. But apparently, I think it's 149 bodies were found at a old school in Canada. It's since been closed down, but I guess they were like digging, and they started finding a lot of dead black people. As we talked about, like before we started airing, it's like, I mean, it's like the 5th, 6th iteration of this. It's like, it's been a lot of stories that I think it was somewhere in Florida that I can't remember exactly, that they found like a whole fucking grave site of just dead black people, and like it wasn't really like a lot of explanations to come with it.
Yeah, they just had that same news story break about the Tulsa massacre. They found a mass grave site that was formerly unmarked. They just kill you and bury you wherever.
I believe it's the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa massacre this year, so I believe it just kind of happened this week. They have a documentary out right now called Tulsa is Burning, by the way. I haven't watched it yet, but it is in my recording, so I'm going to watch it soon. But I don't know, man, what to say about this. It's like, with black trauma, like, I don't know, man. Like it's hard to even have a take about it. Like as I talk about this, we talked about earlier when we started the pod. Like we just lost one of our friends, Quez, over the weekend, and I think that's like a lot of things that get missed about the black experience. I don't want to go on a black man tangent and shit, but about this missed about the black experience. It's like, yo, we just
safe spaces.
we sit here and watch these tragedies over and over, and like we have to fucking just go on with life, like nothing happened. Normal.
I had that same conversation about Edgewood. Like I'm telling my partner, I'm like, man, this block don't feel like nothing but death. And he's like, what you mean? I was like, nigga, there's grip on the wall on the side of the store by the Exxon. Like it's the apartment that me and Bubs
R.I.P. the grip.
It's Quez now.
R.I.P. Jason Montgomery, Bubs.
And I'm just thinking to myself, like, man, not to mention all the other nights where we just left and some shit happened, or some shit happened before we got there. Like it becomes
the homie that
draining.
Got blood spilt.
You know what I'm saying? Like it becomes draining. And you don't really want to be in a situation where you feel like you always got to be on alert. So yeah, like in situations where the reason that being direct takes such a toll is because I take the time to think these things out because I know how I feel. I could just wild out. I could just flip. Like I feel like I got plenty of reason to.
Yeah,
but
like
because I'm speaking to you in a civilized tone, and you still find a way to find fault, it's like, yo, what? I might as well just lose my shit and get my point across. Because that would feel so much better, but it probably wouldn't benefit me in the long run or the situation in the immediate future.
And I don't want to make this like a woe is me type of thing, but it's like, yo, like a lot of people don't have to walk around with this type of shit every day, man. Like, well, we talking about the Canadian school and how they found 150 bodies. Like, if I didn't have my own direct trauma that I'm going through, like that would be traumatic in itself. So it's like, as black people, you have to turn on the TV and see some traumatic shit, and then never mind your own trauma that you deal with on a daily basis.
This is why the Patrice O'Neal joke is so dope, because it's like comedy with double, triple entendres, like the skit where he's talking about like, or the bit where he's talking about like, yeah, I watch the news, man. I can't give a fuck. I just can't. I try so hard to give a fuck, and a lot of that comes from a place where it's just like, yo, life hard. It's hard everywhere. And I'm not saying that I'm comparing anybody's disadvantage to what we got going on, but like my shit is I can feel however I want, but as long as I got my shit, that's your shit. and it's just this human nature. Like I think that's why the idea of finding your tribe is so important, because you got the same problem. You usually get up with people who trying to find the same solution.
And just to be clear, like I know, like every episode we start the podcast out with the countries, and for everybody that's listening in different countries, like this George Floyd shit is just some shit they gave y'all. Like there's a George Floyd literally every fucking day.
Good point.
Like I don't know if people that don't live in the United States understand that. Like I know, like that got national attention and everybody wanted to like fight, but motherfucker, we need this fight every day. Like these are the ones that just happen to catch fire. Like every time I'm on Twitter, I find a random story that didn't get enough coverage. There's somebody black that died randomly. Like
you go back.
I remember that lady that like went out.
Times we mentioned people who died at the beginning or at the end of an episode.
It's like it was a lady that like went out on a weekend with like all white people that just like
on a boat.
Remember, on the boat and the shit like that story still hasn't caught fire for real. And like that's just one of the things. Like we gotta hear about black people dying randomly every fucking day. Like
Oscarville, if y'all haven't done y'all research, Lake Lanier is built on a town called Oscarville, and Vince hit me and was like, yeah. Like I was just reading this shit, thinking to myself, like, man.
Oh yeah, the story about that. So shout out to Illustrate. They actually talked about this on the Black on Purpose podcast. So shout out to Illa.
Shout out to Illa.
The story is crazy. So apparently it was like an Emmett Till situation that happened in that town, and like they found a black dude randomly. Like some white woman said that some black dude raped her or whatever. They found a random black dude, strung him up, hung him, shot him as they were hanging him. Everybody just did a fucking 10-gun salute shit. Just shot him as he's hanging. And then they ran out of every black person that lived in the city. So like, you know.
And they made Lake Lanier. And this is how you get Lake Lanier.
Like the city that's buried underneath Lake Lanier is that city. So like, I don't know. I'm not to say that there's some spiritual shit. I don't want to get into all that people say, but I know we started at the Canadian school, man. Shit, I guess Lake Lanier is like a Canadian school. It's like kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah. Beat that.
Like,
yeah, I don't know. The thing, my point was that there's really no wins in this shit, because in a world where we have so much information, you can go tit for tat with tragedies as far as black people are concerned or people of color are concerned. Like, it's not like white supremacy ain't really no secret. It's just really how you respond to it in real time. And I think the biggest thing that a lot of us have to get over is just dealing with each other. Like, the idea of being able to have straight talk or be direct is our biggest barrier, because, nigga, we can't communicate with each other. How are we going to communicate with somebody else?
also, shout out to J Fab, man, on Black on Purpose, man. I was listening to him. He was talking about the Lake Lanier shit, and he was like telling the story how he went there and his boat started sinking, and he had to like randomly get to the side like right before his boat sank. And I'm just like, man, every time I hear a black person go to Lake Lanier, I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, I thought we all knew this shit. I thought we agreed that we don't go to Lake Lanier. Like,
there's many other lakes around
Altoona.
Altoona.
We got a hoop.
I'm just gonna stop right there.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why a black person would go to
Pine Lake.
would go to Lake Lanier, man. Like, just do your research. Anybody black, please do your research before you do your little family trip out at Lake Lanier. It's a fucking death trap. It's like, I think they're up to like 1,000 deaths, like, to date.
Why y'all want to play with y'all life like that? Like, why y'all want to do that?
I'm sure it's just like all kind of random shit floating up from the city that just get caught on boats and shit like that.
It's probably when you build structures underwater, they create a vacuum. So I think that's why boats get sucked under. It's a whole town. There's no telling what was like.
Yeah, yep. I guess I think they just try to bury history.
I mean, it burned Alexandria.
Deep cut.
See that?
All right. Well, on that note, shout out to the Hawks, man. Hawks Knicks.
Hot boys.
Hot
boys.
Hot boys in the building tonight. But nah, man, it's been a great series. I love Trae Young. I don't know did we talk about the spitting incident?
Hadn't happened yet.
All right,
Y'all fans been wilding, because ever since then it's been a string of...
I think this is what we can talk about, the fans' interaction thus far in the playoffs. It's gotten really fucking racist, fans.
Yeah.
Apparently, Ja Morant's parents had an interaction with fans, and they said, like, we're going to put a quarter in your back and wind you up and watch you dance to his parents.
What?
Yeah.
How you not kill a nigga after that?
And what was so dope about that, shout out to the good fans, it's like some of the other fans was like, nah. They found them and they reported them to the police. Like, his parents didn't even have to do it. Some other fans did it. So shout out to, like, to good fans of the NBA. Because I don't think, like, that whole, you know what I mean? Shit, man. I fuck with the white folks, man. I fuck with y'all, man. It's just like some of y'all just don't be knowing what the fuck is up. And y'all got to get checked. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Like, but I heard, like, Roger Bell say this shit. And he was just like, somebody kind of need their ass whooped. Like, the whole Ron Artest shit, like, the good thing about that shit is, like, let you niggas know, all right, talk that shit and see what happens. Like, this shit still could happen to you, like, at any moment.
And you need to see that, like people always blame the athletes. What you think about? It's 10 people on the court. It's thousands of fans. They throwing shit at me. They throwing shit. You letting them do it? At what point do I act out? Like,
I
defend
remember,
myself.
I want to say I think it was when LeBron came back to Cleveland the first time. They were talking about how, like, people were throwing batteries.
What the fuck?
Like, that shit is, like, you could really fuck somebody up like that. Like, especially throwing it from, like, how high you are. Like, you in the cheap seats or some shit. So.
Oh, when he played for the Heat and he came back?
Yeah. You know, because that whole decision shit was a big thing. But I don't know, man. Like, me as a basketball fan, like, it's a lot of players that I dislike, but I've never had the thought Maybe because I know niggas and I know I'm never gonna talk shit to a nigga that's 6'10".
Why would you do that?
Me personally, that works out every day. That just didn't ever seems like a good idea. But when you're white, you have that like veil of like safety around you because you know, like, oh shit, the nigga did some shit.
Tiger
Get
King.
him.
Yeah. Even
Yeah,
John
Tiger.
Rocker was safe.
Yeah,
Eastbound and down.
yeah, he could talk all kind of shit. And, but yeah, man, it's just been like a weird thing with the playoffs. Like it's been a number of incidents. Like you said, the Russell Westbrook thing. I think he got popcorn thrown on him after the Philly game. And one thing I don't really understand is like I'm a Philly fan. We beat the shit out of them that game. Like, why do we even need to throw popcorn on a nigga? We already won. Like, I couldn't understand if we lost and you being bitter. Like, we won and you're still fucking mad. Like,
Kyrie Irving got a bottle thrown at him as he was walking through the tunnel. So yeah, it's something to be said.
oh yeah. Also, there was
None
a
of these
fan.
fans were black.
A fan ran onto the court in the other Philadelphia Bullets game. Oh, Wizards game. But yeah, a fan ran onto the court. He got tackled before he reached the players. But like, yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know if it's just a pandemic thing.
Yeah, I was about to, damn, took words. Yeah, I think it might be a side effect of just people being cooped up, everybody being ridiculous.
I also heard that on a podcast of the Go Unnameless. They was just talking about like, yo, it's so crazy. Like, I really leveled up during this pandemic, and I really thought about all the people like that's not like us. Like, for me, I worked during the entire pandemic, so there was no shift in anything for me. Like, I had that moment where it's like, oh, the pandemic. This is like a watermark moment of my life. It wasn't that for me. It was just like, I mean, think I had to go to work every motherfucking day.
It was a watermark.
Just less
It was a watermark based on like I had to switch hustles. Like I had to switch some shit up. But for the most part, it was just me working. I think that's the biggest thing. Like now, one of the things that I've inferred just from our conversation is like the need to kind of be productive outside of what you do in order to make a living, and finding a way to make that how you make a living. Like you got to invest some time into some shit that is personal to you, that has some like exterior benefit as opposed to just financial gain.
If anything, for me, it was funny to watch other people flounder as I just kind of did my 1-2 thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was still doing my regular shit while everybody's like, man, I can't be around people 24/7. What the fuck am I going to do? Like, you know, but I don't know where the fuck we started. Yeah, fan interaction.
Fans is wilding.
Kind of missed the bubble.
Yeah, make you miss the bubble. Goddamn.
But to go with fan interaction, shout out to Naomi Osaka. So she put out like an Instagram post that was like a note that basically talked about how she didn't want to do any press during like this next little tournament that she's about to do. I don't know enough about tennis to know the exact tournament, but
French Open.
What was it?
French Open.
Yeah, okay. During the French Open. So, I don't know, man. I think about that with players a lot. Every time I watch a press conference, you got to deal with all these, like, difficult-ass questions that, like, you know you're probably still pissed about as they ask you in a moment. It's like, so how do you feel when you missed that shot that ruined the whole city as you let down your kids and your family? And then it's like 1,000 cameras on you and lights and shit, and now you got to answer that shit. It's like...
Part of you wants
And it just happened 5 seconds ago.
Fuck you, bitch.
I do think the media is it's kind of ridiculous in like the things that we ask out of athletes. But at the same time, I don't know, man. It's tricky. Because I do have that one part of my brain that's like, well, you get paid
you just come with
millions of dollars, man. You kind of got to come with that shit. Like,
but it's not fair as a human being because, you know, regardless of the money, like you still feel like you are who you are as a person. Like you don't want to be treated that way. You don't want to be treated like a product. You don't want to be treated like a spectacle.
Being an entertainer is signing up to be a product.
It is. And the juxtaposition is being an artist is also pushing back against the idea that you can be defined by a certain parameter. Like, one of the things I've had a lot of conversations with about as far as kids are concerned, I was at the park with my daughter and I was talking to this other parent who was out there with his children. I was like, yo, at this point I don't tell my daughter she has to do one thing because I feel like there was a certain measure of programming that went into our education. It was like, yo, do this.
Yeah,
you got to do this and stick with it. That's like, nah, you can do all of that. Like, there was a poignant moment in life where I had to choose between like art and like doing music.
Oh.
Like, nah. Hey, sport. My mom wasn't fucking with sports, man. Like I tell my mom like, and my dad often like, yo, y'all fucked this up. Like, I was a lottery pick, bro. Now I'm just out here trying to rap. But yeah, like you
Could have been Willie Lanier.
Yeah, yep. R.I.P. Shout
I know we don't even know this nigga's dead. Anyway,
his career is over. That's what I was referring to, bro. Y'all went dark. But no, like you get to a point where you're forced to decide between what you want to be, and I feel like there's a certain measure. Like I'm talking to this guy who's out there with his kids, and I'm like, yo, do you feel like there's a certain measure? Because he homeschools his children. That's how we got on this conversation. Because he was telling me, like, my daughters are homeschooled, and I was like, yo, I'm thinking about it. I don't look down on anybody who does it, but given the pandemic, it doesn't seem like a far-fetched.
Yeah.
So like it probably has more benefits, but just explain it to me. And he was like, telling me his reasons for it, and I asked him, I was like, yo, so what programming do you think you've had? And he was like, well, I feel like the Pledge of Allegiance. And I was like, all right, so how was that programming? Were you in the military? He was like, yeah, I did. I was in the Navy. And I was like, all right, so. But so I didn't think about that as far as I'm concerned, because I think I was having a conversation with Vince. I was like, yo, a lot of this shit, I don't talk about manifestation publicly or like the idea of the ethereal.
I literally hate that word, but go on.
Yeah, I know. I do too.
As soon as somebody says manifest, I'm
before
like,
before you shit all over it, if I look at the course of my life and the things I've done, like I've been able to do everything I wanted to do at some point earlier when the conventional avenues didn't work.
I think it's more form follows function than manifest.
Hey,
You didn't manifest the shit. You worked towards it, and then it happened.
So look, what's the difference between? That's the same argument that people would use for prayer and meditation. Like there are certain theologies that
I hate that shit. It's like, no, you do
Yeah,
things.
I get it.
You got to do things to get other things. You got
This
to
is-
put the work in, and then you reap the benefits of the work.
I think the spark notes is praying, but actually people who want to do it put in the work as well.
faith without works is dead. Like that, I had a conversation. It's funny you were talking about
You
religion
work
with
because
somebody.
you have faith.
No,
Me, I work because I have faith. I work because I have faith in this shit.
You work because you see result. You work because
No.
result.
If I work because I saw results, no music, no podcast, none of this shit will happen. If I work because of results,
Let me rephrase that.
like, no, I don't work because of results. I work because I believe.
I don't think that's true. I think there are a certain measure of results that happen whether you approve of it or not.
No. Like I rap for years before anybody said, you know what? I fuck with your shit. I rap for years.
Those are results.
You know what I'm saying? I rap for years before anybody said that shit. Without results.
Yeah, but those are results. Like you
What?
You rap with the
game.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
you rap
saying
with the
I rap for
expectation of
years
results.
before because I believed. There's the expectation
I
of
hear what
results.
you-
Self-fulfillment.
And that isn't that a manifestation? Like you expect something to happen.
Yep.
Like you expect something to happen so much that you continue doing it with
It's
no result
It's
because
just like
of
a
result.
weird ass word to me.
It
like,
is. I think it's current. Like it's
Because of
it's
what
very
people
PC.
have taken and ran with it.
Like the same way I hate PC speech when people talk about boundaries and shit like that. It's like taking something. It's
Yeah,
taking
it's just
something and
like-
over explaining it.
You got rocks.
over-explain
I
some
know
shit.
you pray to rocks if you fucking
You
manifest.
got an altar.
I'm just like, what do you manifest the shit? Bitch, do some work. I mean, bitch as a colloquial term for all people.
I don't mean the bitch. I don't mean bitch in the sense of having the pussy.
Having no goddamn sense. Yeah. But
Trying to push me.
on that note, man, let's get the fuck out of here, man. Yeah, we'll be back. Like we always do it this time. Bam, 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 bam. It's 10 rap something. Okay. Anyway, we're back once again. Yeah, you know how I do with these intros. I always fuck them up just for y'all, man. Just for the ladies. I needed a hey lady drop for this episode.
Keep your teeth white. R.I.P. that guy.
But I guess we'll get into what we've been watching and listening to. For me, what I've been watching, I just watched the Mick Foley documentary. As I've been saying for these past episodes, these fucking wrestling documentaries are fucking great. But Mick Foley, very interesting journey like that he had to go through. He went through the ECW. If anybody knows about wrestling, it's very graphic. It's very like masochistic. Is that the word? Maybe. Yeah. A lot of bleeding.
Vocab draft. I said vocab.
But it's yeah. But I don't want to give away the details, man. I really want everybody to watch these shits. But like, definitely a good documentary watch. But also watch the Stone Cold Steve Austin documentary, and man, his story is crazy. Like. One thing I noticed about a lot of these things, like a lot of these things that are like very monumental in my childhood, only lasted for like 1 or 2 years, or like maybe it seemed like
Street Sharks.
Yeah,
Like 3 seasons of my entire childhood.
but it seems like these moments lasted forever, but they really only lasted for like 1 or 2 years. Like Steve Austin's career only lasted for like 3 years.
Hey man, time was illmatic, man. Shout out Nas. Like it was a point in time where before social media, like shit was big. Like the
was so big.
The space of time had more value, and that's why I think tangible things are a lot. It's gonna be like that with tangible things as opposed to things that we have on the internet or a digital space, like the cloud, your digital photo book, Bitcoin, your currency. Eventually, tangible things are going to have a different type of value, the same way that vinyl has a value that other music doesn't.
Especially, we live in this age where everything, like, we just move on to the next thing so quickly. So, yeah, if it's not tangible.
The chase is, it's not valuing the thing that actually has good, like, intrinsic value. It's being the next thing, because everybody has the opportunity to be the next thing. So nobody really pays attention to what really stands out or is good. It's one of the reasons, like, we're in a juxtaposition with music. I mean, I know we're talking about what we've been watching and what we've been listening to, art in general, but there's such a oversaturation of content. The good shit for people who really care, it does stand out, but it's such a fight to get to it. Like,
yeah, but yeah, it's just like that's one thing I really took from like the Mick Foley documentary and the Steve Austin documentary. It's just like, damn, man, like these moments they were so big to me, but they only lasted a few years. But it seemed like they shaped my whole childhood. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it's one of them things, man. Steve Austin is actually that guy too, man. Mm-hmm. Like everything that you think about Steve Austin, like I know, like they say some like wrestlers or like have personas. He's not a persona. Like Steve Austin is Steve Austin. Like, that's the bottom line.
Oh.
Hey. If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? It's for the fans in the cheap seats, man. You know what I'm saying? But I guess we get into what I've been listening to. When it comes to that, shout out to Bonnie and Shine. You know what I'm saying? I've been going through my old bad boy shit. Like, I just love old music, man. I don't know why. I just been on a little, like, weird little, like, thing.
Washed.
Oh, yeah. I guess because I'm old. Temporary Relief, PD Crack featuring Oskino. Oh, not Oskino. Actually, Sparks. I'm sorry. Yeah, I've been playing that shit every time we start the podcast, damn near. Every time Warren walks in the room. It's like his theme music. Speaking of wrestling. But, yeah.
Philly fanatic.
Yeah. But also Charles Hamilton, well, Isn't This Awkward? It's a mixtape. I mean, if anybody knows me, I was kind of like a big Charles Hamilton fan. Don't ask. It's kind of some shit I fucked with.
No, ask.
Yeah.
Just make it awkward.
Also, the Pink Lava Lamp by Charles Hamilton.
Pink Lava Lamp was that shit.
Yeah, I fucked with that album.
I remember we went out the perimeter for the first time in forever, and this nigga Draft forced us to listen to Pink. He was like, "Yo, just listen to the shit." Nigga Carl was so adamant about not letting us listen to Charles Hamilton. He was like, "Nigga, we playing Charles Hamilton in the Monte Carlo."
Yeah. Shit right, bro. Yeah, that shit is crazy, bro. I wasn't even thinking about the shit I was doing at the time.
He was so pressed. He was so pressed about this shit. I was like, "Oh, this shit hard, bro." Carl was looking at me to help him shit on it. I was like, I don't know, bro. I like it.
Yeah. Shout out to
Sade
Charles.
sample?
Yeah. Shout out to This Perfect Life, too. That's another Charles Hamilton project that I thought was really dope. Other than that, I want to shout out Eminem. This is one unreleased song. Why we? Yeah, it's actually a serious take.
Right.
Shout out to Eminem. It's called Cocaine. It's featuring Jasmine Sullivan. It never was released, but it actually has the That's Us sample that we did. The Willie Lynch joint. Is that Willie Lynch? Not Willie
I
Lynch.
thought you were gonna say the Kilo Ali sample.
Nah, Willie Hutch. I call him Willie Lynch.
If that was a Freudian slip. I didn't know what you on.
Yeah,
been up
but,
to, bro?
the Willie Hutch sample.
Yeah.
The old mama joint. But but other than that,
You heard it. You see. Hey,
the DMX joint. I'm fucking with that, man. I don't necessarily love DMX verse, but the DMX song that he has with Griselda called Hood Blues.
that shit is hard. I listened to it recently.
Yeah, I love that sample. Sean Price actually has another song called Figure 4 that uses that same
Pretty
sample.
great.
But I just love that sample. So anybody that raps over that, I'm just like, oh,
Y'all on some shit.
Yeah.
I see you, God.
Yeah. I put on my
Respect,
fitted
King.
real
Yeah.
low when that shit come on.
Eyes
So,
turn red, Koofy appear.
yeah, and I'm from Atlanta, so it just got that type of vibe. So yeah, that's what I got.
All right. I ain't really watch shit. Not shit that I think anybody would be interested in. A lot of munchies. I watch these random basketball videos on Baller's Life.
Shout out to Halal Wrist on Instagram.
Halal Wrist is definitely one of my top viewed.
Yeah,
Also, I think it's called.
please
Black
follow
First.
Halal
Yeah, Halal
Wrist.
Wrist. Yeah,
That's
Please,
Tazi.
crazy name.
Please follow Halal
Is
Wrist.
that
Yeah.
I know you.
A lot of Kill Tony.
One of my favorite follows on Instagram.
Kill Tony 507 just premiered. I think
That
there's
shit
another
was
one.
crazy. Yeah, that was a live premiere.
Yo,
That shit was dope.
Kill Tony's low key one of my favorite podcasts, man. I'm not even gonna flex. It's just, it's mindless entertainment, but witty. Like I've intentionally, like, you know how you see kids. Excuse me. You know how you see kids watch like Ninja Turtles, and all of a sudden it's like, yo, you gotta tell them like, yo, you can't do like flying sidekicks off the fucking couch. I'm like that with wit.
That was me.
Yep.
Yeah, like I think it's every kid. You just emulate whatever the fuck you saw in the movie you just seen.
Immediately.
But it's like that with me with like comedies. Like I'm punny just based off the fact that I've been absorbing so much information. It's like,
Speaking of which, when it
Quick
comes to
witted.
those wrestling shits, like I thought about how like we used to wrestle in our backyard, and like they had a part. I don't want to ruin the Stone Cold joint, but he broke his neck because like somebody did the pile driver wrong, and like his head was like completely exposed.
You think about them kids that died.
Yeah, so many kids.
I mean, that was
died
my
doing
point.
shit,
That was my
but,
point
yeah.
when I talked about going fences. Like I was like, yo, I grew up in the '90s where kids was dying doing wrestling moves on their neighbors, and they was charging them kids with life. Like,
Charging them as adults and shit.
Yeah, that big ass black kid.
Yep.
yeah, so yeah. I don't know where we was going with this. Draft been watching wrestling.
I'm
documentary.
sorry, bro.
Sorry.
What else was I watching? Not shit, man. I ain't really watched a whole lot. Like I said, a lot of random food videos on YouTube. Nothing I feel like mentioning. What I've been listening to. I've been back in my bag as far as sad nigga rap tunes. Like I've been listening to Doom, Rhinestone Cowboy, Mike, Evil Eye, Earl Sweatshirt, Shattered Dreams. I listen to Shattered Dreams like on repeat today. Mock Hami, Pray for Haiti. Mock Hami,
Yeah,
Pray for
man, I
Haiti.
try to tell y'all
Mock Hami-
niggas, man.
Mock Hami,
I
fucking
told
Pray for
niggas,
Haiti,
man. I told niggas,
Look,
man.
first track,
I
man.
begged niggas to listen to this Mock
Yo,
Hami
yeah,
shit,
check
dog.
it, bro. I was right there. You said it the first time. I listened. Bro.
Nah, man.
I
Nah, you
said
took
it-
too long.
I said it at least 7 times to myself, nigga. You was never there. You was never there. No, standouts. The Stellar Ray Theory, Marie, Murder Season, Rami, Au revoir. Au revoir is probably my favorite song, bro.
Man.
Like Au revoir.
Please listen to the Mock Hami album.
Au revoir
Listen
was
to
brought a
the
nigga to
podcast.
tears, bro. I know good rap when you get emotional and you listen to it, you be like, yo, this nigga's really talking my shit.
Yeah, bro.
Oh my God.
Like he
Au
cut from
revoir,
that.
pussy nigga. Au revoir, nigga.
He cut
Niggas
from that
want to
cloth.
stand in the rain, bro. Like just stand in the rain.
The
and
fact that he
scream
really
au revoir.
rep Haiti like this, and he don't show his face, he on some doom shit. I
Yeah,
really
he
fuck
kind of
with it.
stepped up,
Yeah.
man. He took all the tropes of hip hop and made them good.
Yeah.
the sampley shit, like the extra New York rap shit. He did it the way it was supposed to be done, and I fuck with it because
and then
he ain't even from New York. Like he really
we don't even know what he looked like,
and it's done by a nigga who's not from New York City, the mecca of rap. Like he curated. It was like, yo, I can do this shit with everybody. Look, watch this. Watch this.
Shout out to West Side Gun.
That's why West Side so real, because I feel like he when he said he ain't got a rap, I was like, this nigga's on to some shit, because he can just curate, and now he's kind of at that phase. He got a boutique, like he gonna be
got an art gallery.
He's the Virgil like of this shit, of real rap nigga shit, especially working the independent game, man. He got 2 deals with the biggest labels in the game.
Yeah, so shout out Mock Homie, man.
Yeah,
album of the year for me.
The album of the year, definitely. I
it's
think
this year's Pray for Paris.
Yeah, it's probably and that's back to back.
Pray for Paris, Pray for Haiti.
All right, I listened to Pray for Paris today. I remember you playing the clip from the intro on Pray for Paris. And what's funny is Pray for Paris. I like Pray for Paris because it reminds me of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Like, in a sense where I go back to it and it sounds different every time. Like, it's all good, but there are different highlights. Like the intro, the intro really stood out this time. That's why when you played the shit from the auction, I was like, oh shit, I know exactly where this is from, because it stood out.
I like George Blondo, man.
Yeah, George Blondo is dope. What else did I listen to? Mordecai, Karungbin,
Classic. Shoulda went true.
Shoulda. Jungle, Heavy California. I've talked about this before. I think Beat 54, Casio. It's like new nigga house music. Took You Seriously, Amir Obey. Before the Vomit, Amir Obey. No Peace, Amir Obey.
Oh, you know I love No Peace, dog. That's my shit, bro.
The bodies hit the floor,
man.
Yo, real shit. Dwelle, Subject, Truth, Find a Way, Angel Interlude, and Subject. What else? Slum Village, Selfish featuring Kanye West.
I'm calling,
baby, I'm selfish.
Out to
myself, I can't help it.
Amazing verse. Don't be coming around my girl trying to act like Mr. Friendly. Instead of spotlight like Mr. Bentley.
I spotted her like Spuds McKenzie. For the fake boobies, I paid them Benjis.
Get your own. Like Paris, he had Nicky, he had to get him a clone.
Oh yeah, man, that's
got loose, nigga.
Great.
Just clear everybody out.
Hold on.
They said, "Yay, you know you got extra hoes and everything you do is extra cold." What?
Please to the Jesus peace.
I got family in high places like Jesus needs. Can I please say my piece?
If they fresh to death, then
I'm deceased. That nigga got all the way loose, bro. Like he's untied his shoes.
Yeah.
He took off his socks.
Put a robe on.
Yeah, she went Lenny Kravitz on the verse, nigga.
Yeah, Ryan Fest.
Wait, what? Ooh, nigga, barefoot. He got barefoot in that bitch. Wheels out.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah,
Nigga, Kanye wasn't playing with niggas.
Yeah, Ron Fest wrote the
Consequence.
Out of that
Consequence.
verse.
It was a lot of teeth in that verse,
Crazy.
nigga. Nigga took a bite out of crime, nigga.
Took a bite out of rap.
Gum Village, nigga. Yeah, man, but that's what I've been listening to, man.
Gum Village. Yo. Shout out to T3.
Why?
Shout out to Elzai.
Shout out to Elzai.
Taji, what you got?
I've been listening to Sensationalism, playlist of mine that I created.
No, send it to me.
Please.
Got you.
Do I have it?
Only if you want to be really sad.
Well, I mean, I'm already sad. I mean,
Right. Pray
let's
for
give it a
Haiti, of
soundtrack.
course.
Pray for Haiti.
How
How do you feel? Hey, yo, so I meant to ask you, because my two
So
favorite
you listen
albums,
to the Mock Homie?
Yes.
You
My
fuck
t-
with it?
Yes.
my two favorite albums are like This Thing of Ours and the Mock Homie shit. If you had to put them head to head, who do you choose?
I can't choose right now.
All right, that's respectable.
All right, go on.
Pray for Haiti, Mount Marcy,
Look at you.
just random playlists I found on SoundCloud. Japanese city pop and jazz funk on vinyl.
Send me that.
Got you. And I've been watching MODOK.
I forgot to mention MODOK. Sorry to cut you off. If anybody is a Marvel fan, they do introduce a new character to the MCU. So if you don't love it, just wait for that. If you really want to watch it, it's something. You get something out of the fucking series. I don't want to ruin it for Taja to give the name.
Too
but
late.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They just added Harry Potter on HBO Max again. I'm halfway through Assassination Classroom as well as Red Sun. That's just how I watch things nowadays, just because of the
Fragmented watching.
Yeah, the little one, man. He's going
Spurt.
Super Saiyan. Yeah, right.
Tossing and turning.
Yeah, bro. That's really it. Oh, I saw Black Sea. It's a movie I've been wanting to watch since 2015, but I just didn't feel like paying for it. So shout out to Netflix, Jude Law. It's actually really good.
Speaking of which, speaking of movies that like we're going back to watch, I finally watched Dancing with Wolves because I've always been a big Avatar fan. So everyone always told me like, "Yo, Dancing with Wolves is pretty much Avatar," and yeah, it is. And shout out to Kevin Costner, man, unsung hero. I'm sure he's racist, but if he's not racist, then
Untouchable back then. Though.
Oh, we know Kevin Costner is probably in my top. All of my favorite movies. Damn.
Untouchables? You like Untouchables?
Yeah, Untouchables was fire, bro.
Right.
What? I love Untouchables.
I
Yeah.
thought you didn't like A Good Time, bro. That's a great movie. Time.
Yeah.
Bridges
Yeah.
in Madison. Wasn't that Bridges in Madison County with Kevin Costner in it too?
I think so.
Yeah, you a Bridges in Madison County fan?
I don't know what that is,
All right,
but
you're not really from it.
yeah.
You're not from the club.
Enough from the mud,
From the Costner
bro. Costner cloth. Yeah.
Show your Costner card, nigga.
Yeah.
Where's your Kevin credentials?
But that's all you got?
That's it.
Yeah, all right, man. I guess we are washed, never washed up.
Walsh never washed up, man. Thank you for watching. All the gods and goddesses out there, like, subscribe, share.
Yeah, we are the Wash Guys. Shout out to No Limit Exposure. Shout out to 404 Creators.
Yep.
If you see us, you see
see
them. Bitches and nigs and niglets,
Dogs,
Shout
cats,
to, yeah,
aunties,
puppies,
cousins,
alligators.
pterodactyls.
Made
We
up.
up.
Yeah, all
White
right,
man
we out.
creation.
Dinosaurs are real. Shout out Kyrie.